Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my podcast, Banter with Brooke. I am Brooke Podcast, what the fuck did I just say? I am Brooke Podcast, your lovely, lovely host. And this episode, I am so excited for. I know I've said that about a few episodes before, but literally, oh, you're not supposed to swear in the first minute. Well, sorry. I despise men really horribly. So today we're going to talk about what it was like growing up as a girl dealing with crazy, horrible, disgusting men. And I just want to say that I got inspired to do this episode topic because last night I saw the canceled podcast live, which is Tana Mojo and Brooke Schofield's podcast. If you guys know who they are, if you don't, you are living under a rock. But, just seeing them talking about getting revenge on men and just horrible men, what better time to film this topic than now? So thank you, Tana and Brooke, for inspiring this podcast topic. And I also want to preface by saying it is not all men. Like, I still like men. Like, I have some very close guy friends. My brother's my best friend, and I still love men. I still find them very hot. For example, this guy at work the other day, he walks in and he was fine as hell. He was so hot. And there was like a fundraiser at my work upstairs, and he's like, "Is the fundraiser upstairs?" And we were like, "Yeah, me and the other girl hosting." And he goes upstairs, and I'm like, "That's my future husband right there," as a joke. And I was like, he was so hot. And she said something about like, "Yeah, the fundraiser's in my pants," or something. I was like, "Yeah, that man could come fundraise this vagina." And I wasn't kidding, but sorry to anyone in my family watching this episode. Sorry. But yeah, it is not all men. I want to preface that. But it is most, unfortunately, in my personal experiences with men. Out of every single man I've encountered in my 20 years of living, more of the experiences have been bad than good, unfortunately. So first, I wanted to start with this statistic I found, which is terrible. One, it was according to the CDC. So I don't know if y'all take with that what you will. 1 in 4 women have experienced completed or attempted rape. 1 in 4. Are you guys for real? That is like I am so passionate about this topic. Like, this shit pisses me off. Sorry, I need to take a sip of this because, I'm already getting heated, bruh. Next thing I wanted to say is I know personally. Actually, we need to fucking take a moment for that again, because do you guys understand how many women 1 in 4 is? That is way too fucking many. And you heard the statistic. I don't know if this number is still accurate or where this number came from, but I've heard that like 97% of women have been harassed, that is different from being actually like sexually assaulted or graped. I'm going to say graped because I can't say the actual word. I know on TikTok you can't say it or your thing will get taken down. So we're going to be using the word graped. Also, trigger warning. I'll put that on the screen. Trigger warning, this episode is going to be talking about creepy men, harassment, sexual assault, all of that stuff. Trigger warning. But, so yeah, I know personally, and I'm not exaggerating, I'm not making this up, I know over 10 girls that have been actually graped. Not just harassed, not just bothered, physically. Over 10 girls. That is disgusting. Like, so disgusting. And I don't know a single girl that hasn't been at least harassed or like at least at the very least made uncomfortable by a man. Not a single girl. And that should fucking tell you something. I do not know one single girl in my whole life that has not been at least made uncomfortable by a man. Ugh. I could literally talk about this forever, you guys. I feel like so many of my conversations with my friends end up getting to this topic somehow about men just doing horrible fucking things. And I know this makes me sound like horrible, and I really do not hate all men. My brother is my best fucking friend, but maybe that's because he's my brother and he obviously, whatever. I don't know. I really don't hate all men, but this topic is about shitty things that men have done. So I'm going to be talking about that. And I don't even want to, I'm not even trying to stand up for men. I just don't want to like get canceled and people think I'm like crazy, like man hater over here, because I still like, I want a boyfriend, but I just want a boyfriend that's actually a decent fucking human being and is just normal and treats people good and with respect and isn't a fucking creepo. Anyway, so yeah, I wanted to tell a couple stories or just experiences throughout my life that I've dealt with different men. So to start, I grew up with a lot of guy friends. Always throughout my life, I've had many guy friends, and I don't have that many anymore, but I still do. And I'm not going to name names in any of these stories I'm going to tell just because I don't want to, I don't know why, but just because I don't want to, I don't want to start that. Excuse me, I burped. Like I've mentioned in other episodes, I live in a very small town and probably not that many people who live in my town really watch these, but just in case, and in case the people I'm talking about watch these, I'm just gonna not say names, but so many of my guy friends have asked me to hook up with them all the time, constantly. We will be doing nothing, like sitting on the couch, like doing stuff randomly. I've had 2 separate occasions where they will literally whip their fucking dick out or just, I know, I'm sorry I'm starting this right off the jump. Like this is really insane to start off with, but sorry. And I'm spilling the tea. Like for people who do live in my town and hearing all these stories and you know who I've been friends with in the past, y'all are going to be like, but anyway, so multiple times, literally one guy literally like put my hand on his dick and was like, come on, like you've never touched it before, like excuse me. And this other guy literally was just like sitting there touching himself, being like, come on, like please just like do stuff with me. That's obviously not what he was saying, but I'm like, that is so scary. Like you guys, like that is so, I'm like so sorry if any of you guys have experienced that, because like and just like not even someone I was into, not even someone I was dating, like so gross. Like what, like the fact that I'm just thinking I'm really just like chilling with my friend and that's what's going through their mind, I'm like, what's going on? Another thing is always begging me for nudes, and I know I'm not the only one who has been through that. Many of my friends have also had guys begging for nudes. And this one guy I randomly matched with on Tinder when I was in like high school, literally was like, send me nudes. And I've barely sent nudes in my life. Okay. I think I've sent nudes to maybe 3 or 4 people in my whole life. Okay. So don't try and make me out to be something I'm not, but I was bored and I wanted some male validation, which now I could care less for male validation. But back then I was really, I don't know, whatever. This man's like, send me nudes. I send him a little boob, you know? He's like, send me your, or no, I think I sent him my ass first and then I sent him my boobs. Then he literally tells me to send him my pussy. I'm just imagining like my aunt and like my mom watching this episode. Sorry, guys. I know you're not going to be happy with this episode, but I want the viewers to get to know the real me. And you guys both know that talking about horrible men is something I bring up kind of often. So I'm just letting the viewers know the real me. Anyway, so sorry, apologies in advance. He's like, send me your pussy. And I'm like, absolutely not. Like, what? I literally did not know the guy. We had just matched, just added on Snapchat. Like, the first thing he said to me was to send him nudes. Like, he didn't even ask how the fuck was your day. Like, he didn't ask me anything. He literally just wanted nudes right away. And I did it for some fucking reason. Girls, if you're watching, do not do that. Don't even send nudes, period. And you'll know why in a second. So I don't obviously send him that because what? And he blocked me. Boy, gross. Like, you asked me and you like so gross. That's another thing that men do. Like, they will want you so bad 1 minute, then the next fucking, as soon as you like reject them or like start being like, I don't want you. Oh, you fucking ugly whore. I didn't want you anyway, stupid bitch. Like, you just fucking said 5 minutes ago how hot I was and how much you want to have sex with me and how much you love me. 5 minutes later, because I say I'm not interested or I say something, you're like, oh yeah, I didn't even like you anyway, like, you dumb whore. And it's like, you, like, men's egos are just so big. Like, shut the fuck up. Like, you know the fucking TikTok sound where it's like, dude, she's just not into you. Cause like literally, like, they take it so personal. It's like, shut the fuck up and like sit down. It's not personal just because I don't want you. Like, they feel so personally attacked. Like, I've been rejected multiple times in the past, but I don't sit there and be like, fuck you, you dumb guy. Like, start yelling at them. Like, that is so embarrassing. Another thing about men, they are embarrassing. Like, so many guys, whenever they get mad, their instinct is just like, oh, you want to fight, bro? Like, no one wants to fight you, Kyle. Like, sit down, shut up. Like, why do men always want to fight? And it's over the dumbest stuff too. It's like so cringe. Like, I just can't do it. So yeah, that story was crazy. Cause I'm like, how are you going to ask me for nudes and I don't send you my literal vagina and you block me? Okay. And exchanging nudes. This is why I said girls do not ever send nudes, because literally all being friends with a bunch of guys in high school, cause I know most of my friends and me, whenever I did with like send nudes, please don't screenshot, please don't save it, whatever. I can tell you, if you are a girl in oh fuck, I have to bleep that. If you are a girl in the town that I live in, I can promise you, if you've sent nudes to somebody, one of them had it. Hopefully they don't have it anymore, because that's literally child nudity and you cannot have that on your phone. That's really disgusting. Like, we were kids in high school, but they would exchange them and show them like girls were just fucking Pokemon cards. They literally show me too. I've seen like all my friends' nudes. They'd be like, oh, look at this. Or they literally like, all the guys would be like, oh, do you have hers yet? And would literally like exchange them and show each other. I'm like, oh, like, you guys don't understand how much that infuriates me. Like, women are not fucking objects. They sent those to you because they liked you, thought they were cute, like thought they could trust you. And you guys are literally like sending them all around. And people who are like, oh, it's a girl's fault. Like, she knows, like, why would she do that? No. It's not the fucking girl's fault. I mean, yeah, sending nudes isn't the smartest thing, but why are they showing them to everybody and sharing them? That is the guy's fault. That is so disgusting. The way also when I'd hang out with a bunch of guys that they would talk about women and their bodies. Oh, her nipples looked so weird. Oh, this girl's vagina smelt bad. Oh, this girl, like, stuff about her teeth, stuff about her, like, talking so badly about these women's bodies. First of all, like I just said, women are not fucking objects. Second of all, you still hit, though. They're talking about these girls after the fact they literally hooked up with them. And it's like, you didn't think they were that gross when you were literally having sex with them. Or if you did, that's even, like, that's so horrible. You're literally having sex with this girl thinking about, like, oh, her body looks weird. Like, and that's exactly why porn is fucking terrible and it should not exist. No one should watch that. It is horrible. It gives such unrealistic expectations. Like, why? Ew. And like, just me sitting there, I'm like, listening to all of them talk about this, I'm like, I genuinely think that that's why I'm really afraid of being intimate. Fun fact, I'm not ashamed of, I am still a virgin and I don't care that I am. I'd rather be, because I'm so glad that no one where I live can say that they've hooked up with me, because ew, no. And literally just hearing them being like, oh, her body looked like this. Oh, and I'm like, I don't want to be talked about like that at all. Like, that is so horrible. Like, so many men, like the way they just talk about women as if we're like objects. Like, I literally saw this thing and it was like, women like make jokes about hate all men, kill all men, whatever. And it's like, women will never hate men the way that men hate women. We hate men because they literally abuse us and grape us and we're like scared of them. Men hate women because they literally like think we're less than them, think of us as objects. Like, they literally think they are like so superior and we're literally just there to like give them kids. And we're literally like a hole for them. Like, that's literally what a lot of them think. This guy also at my job, literally this like old guy at the bar, like so weird. He literally says to me, and I wasn't even talking to him. Like, I don't even know why the fuck he started talking to me or what even like started it. He like tells me, he goes like, I'm going to run to the ladies' room. He's like, it's no fun in the men's room. What is wrong with you, you sick freak? Like, what do you think I'm going to say to that? Like, oh, haha, like, no, I'm actually fucking scared. Like, and when I tell you guys this man is old, he's old. He literally has a cane. Like, this man walked into the restaurant with a cane. Like, he is old. And I'm like, what do you mean it's no fun? It's not like, oh, you guys like imagine that. Like, imagine an old man coming up to you being like, I'm going to go to the ladies' room. It's no fun in the men's room. And then he also said after that, it's not easy being easy, young lady. Please get away from me before I literally like scream and run, because ew, what? Like, also the things that people say out loud too, like men and women, but mostly men, let's be for real. They'll say things out loud and I'm like, wait, what just made you think that was okay to say? Also, I like appreciate, this is just way off topic, I appreciate like a fit man, like go to the gym, work out, like literally do you. But the men who like post the fucking gym selfies and like gym shit, like so cringe. Oh my God. What's even worse is the men who literally drive the loudest cars and they rev their car and think they're so fucking hot. It's like, I know you have a small wiener. I know that shit is this fucking big, because what are you doing? Or like, it's always the men who are like calm and chill and like act good who are good. The ones who like overcompensate or like always talk about how good they are in bed and stuff. I'm like, you are trash, because ew, like it's just so cringy when guys like egos are just so big, like they really think they're all that. I'm like, when they project, I'm like, you're projecting, or you're just trying to make me think that you're, I don't know, because it's like, what are you acting like that for? So cringy. What else do I have? Oh yeah, I already told this story in my crazy stories episode, but a guy, literally, I'm walking down the street minding my own business in a literal tank top and I think sweatpants. Like nothing was showing, nothing was hanging out. Yells out his car window at me. Unprovoked, no reason. You look like a fat slut, and kept driving. Like, that's the type of shit about what possessed you to say that out loud. Like, ooh. Like, fuck you. You're just mad because I have a fat ass. Literally, because my ass just looked fat in sweatpants, and you, like, calling me fat, like, I don't even care. Fuck you. But, like, how did I look like a slut? That means I'm hot. Okay, he thinks I'm hot if I'm just like a slut. That's what I'm gonna just, that's what my brain goes to. Another guy, okay, this is a story time I was going to save for another day, but you know what? We'll just say it now because it's very fitting for the theme. So there were these two men sitting at the bar at my work as well. And the two hostesses at my work that were working at the time were 16 and 17. So they are minors. And these two men at the bar, one of them keeps staring at both of their asses, like keeps looking so many times. The other guy is trying to like have conversation with them, like making such weird comments, like being so weird. And so I'm noticing, and I don't fucking play when it comes to that shit. Like, oh my God, it bothers me so much. And I think it's because all the experiences I had in high school. So I'm like, oh no. So I'm standing. So the host stand is facing. So they're standing here, let's say, and the door is this way. They're sitting at the bar right here facing this way, but they keep turning to talk to them. So I stand right here. I know I'm like showing you guys this horribly, but I'm standing here, my back turned towards these men. And I'm like talking to the girls at the host stand, trying to help them and not have them have to talk to these creepy men, right? So I keep giving them dirty looks. I'm like, I keep like visibly turning around so they know like I'm turning my back towards you. Stop fucking, like literally just making such weird comments. He said he went to this place and these girls were like in these really skimpy outfits, like standing on the bar. And he's like, I bet you'd like to do that. Or I bet you look good doing that. Like some type of comment like that, like really, really weird. And so it just was continuing on. I was just like standing there so fed up. And then they finally are leaving, right? And I was at the host stand again when they were leaving. And they look at the host stand and they're like, bye girls, which first of all, like you. And I literally just go, like, I just didn't smile, didn't say bye. I just went, and oh my God, my life flashed before my eyes, you guys. He was going out. I go, and he stops and is holding the door handle. Like he was about to leave. I guess he didn't like my fucking reaction. I guess he's standing at the door, holding the door handle, staring at me. We are locking eyes. He's looking into my fucking soul. I'm like, is this man about to like come up and punch me right now? Like, what's going on? He's staring at me and I go, what? He literally, as you guys can see, I have my septum pierced. He literally was so fucking butthurt and intimidated by me. He points to his nose, like he goes like this and he goes, get rid of that. And I said, I didn't ask for your opinion. You can leave. And he's like, I know, like standing there. I'm like, okay, then leave. Bye. I remember I kept saying, okay, bye, leave, goodbye. And I look at his friend who was fucking silent the whole time, but staring at their asses. So creepy. And I go, okay, bye. He goes, what? I didn't say anything. I like it. I'm like, And this is the problem with men. Like, this is the fucking problem. I'm like, I don't care. Bye. They finally left. And I turned, and both of the hostesses are like, I cannot believe that just happened. I literally think about that like all the time. Like, I can't believe that happened either. Like, the fact that he had the audacity to stop and stare at me and tell me, get rid of that, all because you're being a fucking creep. And you were mad that I didn't smile and say, like, what the fuck did he want me to say? Bye, daddy. See you later. Like, no, I'm like, my God. So, like, that's one thing men have is the audacity. Like, stop fucking going up to women and saying weird shit, touching them. Like, stop doing that. Like, what possessed you? What gave you the audacity to think that that's okay to just go up to someone and like say weird shit to them or touch them or anything? And yeah, another thing about like me, like not even like knowing what was going on when like my guy friends would ask me to hook up, like I was not like, the vibe was not flirty, the vibe was not anything like, and how I said like that's why I'm afraid of like intimacy and stuff, because like I've never genuinely like been turned on and like wanted to hook up with a guy. Like every single experience I've had with a guy is like just made me like just forcing me to want to hook up with them basically. And it doesn't work because like we're not involved romantically. I don't have a crush on you. Like I like it wasn't giving let's hook up right now. Like it was giving we're friends hanging out and you randomly whip your dick out of nowhere. Like I think that's why I'm afraid, because I'm like, I don't know like what it's like to like be like feel like turned on and stuff, because I'm like no guy's ever like done that. And I think that's why I'm also still a virgin, because I don't want to like, I think I'll only be able to hook up with someone if I like really like them. And another thing is being fat on top of it. Like I have been losing weight, so it's like getting better, I guess, which that's a whole other thing in itself. I could do a whole episode about growing up overweight or being overweight in like high school, because like the difference I'm getting treated now that I'm not is pretty crazy. But literally like my guy friends constantly like using me to get to my friends, or like so many times when I'd have people over in high school, like I was kind of like the hangout house. Like I'm fucking warm in this, dude. I had people over like constantly, and like people would come over to like hang out with me, but they'd all just be hooking up in my basement. Like there was one day where it was so bad. It was literally like a whole fucking hookup fest. Like everybody was like making out on the floor. And that's the thing that bothers me too, is like we'd all be watching a movie, which like, oh, guess whose fucking bright idea that was? The guys obviously are always like, oh, let's put on a movie. And then the fucking lights turn off so they can go like finger some girl like under the blanket. Like you're in a room full of people, like, and I know that's probably like normal. Like I know a lot of people have stories like that, like, oh, like, yeah, I was hooking up with this guy like in public, whatever. I don't fuck with that stuff. I don't like PDA. I don't like anything. If I'm in a room of other people, we are not hooking up. I'm sorry. Like so weird. Like why are you hooking up in a room full of people? Also in my house, so many people have hooked up in my fucking bed. Like just so luckily that was in high school and I have a new bed, new mattress. So, but like, what is going on? Like, what? And it's always the men. The girls never like, okay, obviously the girls like want to do like a lot of the time, but a lot of the time the girl is afraid to say no. So they did it anyway. But like, so many times that I have people over, the guys would always want to constantly hook up with everybody. And it's like, okay, so you're coming over to my house to be friends with me, to be here with all my other girlfriends and hook up with them basically. And also I can't even start with the countless and countless cheaters. The amount of guys I know that have cheated is ridiculous. ridiculous. And not just cheated one time. I'm talking about cheated multiple times with multiple different women. Crazy thing too is a couple of the times, actually 3. There's been 3 situations where I will tell the girl that the guy cheated or the guy did something, and the girl goes and tells the guy. Now, what the literal fuck? That shit makes me not want to fucking, like, I am a girl's girl till the end. Like, what makes you think? I think these girls genuinely think that I like wanted their man or like something, because they believed the guy. Like, they would go and tell the guy, and then the guy would be like, oh, that's not true. And then one time the guy got mad at me, not friends anymore. The other guy was like, oh yeah, like, did you tell so-and-so that, like, whatever. That's a whole situation. But I'm like, what are you doing telling the guy? Like, girl, I'm trying to help you out and tell you that this man, like, you shouldn't be doing that. Oh, lying to so many liars. Like, this one person I used to be friends with literally told this girl that I made up this whole story that me and this girl wanted to have a threesome with him. And literally, my friend was the one who made the joke. And we all knew it was a joke. And we laughed. And that was it. Like, him literally lying, telling her, this girl, that we said we wanted to have a threesome is insane. And she believed him too. I'm like, okay, girl, there's so many more. Like, I wish I could like just spill all the details to you guys, but I really can't. Maybe one day I will, but I can't right now. And there's so many literally like in-depth stories that I'm like, just, I can either make a part 2 eventually, or like I said, way down the line, because I really can't go into super detail about a lot of these things right now. But like, so many cheaters, like, and I know for a fact women cheat too. I actually know a girl that is cheating right now. Not like my friend, but like a girl, like one of my friends told me that this girl was cheating, whatever. But it's like, I don't understand cheating also. Like, if you want to hook up with multiple people, just don't get into a relationship. Just tell the person you like, just be like, hey, I don't really want to be tied down, but like, I still really like you. And if they don't want to, then that's like it's because people want to be like sneaky and like weird, like, because they still want to have the person, but they want to be able to hook up with other people still. It's like, that's not how it works, boo, unless the person you're with is fine with being in like an open relationship. But if not, you have to tell them. You can't just cheat. Like, that's so fucking horrible. And like I said, there's been stories where I told the girls, but there's also times where I didn't tell the girl. And that is genuinely my biggest regret in life, is not telling the girl or the multiple girls that something went down, because it's like, I would want to know so bad if that was me. But I can't change the past, and I regret it, and I would not do that now. I would tell immediately. But like, so many cheaters, and it's like so gross. I don't understand the point of cheating. That reminds me, have you ever seen the TikToks of like the men when they get caught cheating, and they're like crying, and they're like literally like so embarrassing. They're like smacking their fucking heads. They're like punching themselves in the face, and like, how are you doing this to me? And they're like crying and literally having a full-on meltdown, and the girl is just laughing in their face. Like, those videos, you don't understand how much those videos bring me so much joy, because it's like, oh my god, you got caught and you're acting like a fucking fool. They're like, no, I love you, babe. Like, if y'all don't know what I'm talking about, you need to look them up. They're hysterical. Look up like guy freaking out getting caught cheating or something. literally they like throw tantrums, and like the cringiest ones, they're literally like punching themselves in the face, like, oh, I hate myself, like I'm gonna kill myself. Like, babe, you should have thought of that when you made that decision to fucking cheat. Like, I don't understand. Like, ugh, I just feel like there's been so many disappointing men, like very, very disappointing. And on like dating apps too, like I just feel like, no, I really want to find somebody, but like there's not many people in this town. But I'm like, okay, so time to go to dating apps. Like, where else am I going to find people? But then you go on these dating apps and they all just want hookups. Oh shit, I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, the dating apps and stuff. It's like, okay, there's no one in this town. Let me go on a dating app, right? All the dating apps, that's either a man with a gun, a man with a fish, or the bio's like, looking for my freaks, like where my freaky girls at, like, or just like something so cringe and fucking disgusting, like, and it's like, no. Or it's like a couple and it's like looking for a third to join us, like, and it's like, okay, I love that, like that's iconic for them, but like that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a relationship. And it's like all these dating apps, I've tried Hinge, I've tried Bumble, I've tried Tinder. It's like, okay, so I guess I really just got to meet somebody in person at this rate. But I mean, I'm about to turn 21. So hopefully I can meet some people out, not even drink, just like go out and meet people that way, because it's like I'm running out of options. Like I really want a boyfriend, but like you cannot be fucking horrible. And like there's literally men who think women, if y'all have never watched it's Jubilee, that YouTube channel, the thing is called Middle Ground, and there's ones about like feminist versus anti-feminist. There's like all these different ones, and like I don't know, there was like these men literally were saying that like women should like not have leadership roles, like all these like horrible things. Like there's genuinely some men out there that think of women as literal just holes they're supposed to cook, clean, and give them children. Like that's literally what a lot of men think. And it's so, so scary, because it's like, what you like. And I love a gentleman. Like I love a gentleman. Like hold the door open for me, like do nice things for me. But there was this guy that I used to work with, and he would like do things for me, but it was because like he thought I couldn't do it. I think like I'd be like carrying something heavy and he'd be like, do you need me to take that? I'm literally clearly already walking with it, carrying it. Like, no, I don't need you to do that. Or one time I was putting ice in the like soda machine. If you work in a restaurant, you know, I was putting ice in it, and I was like carrying, like lifting the heavy ice bucket to put it in. He's like, do you need help? I'm like, no, I put it in there. He's like, wow, like I'm actually impressed. Like he really genuinely like thought I couldn't do it. And I'm like, okay, yeah, like, sure. Okay. That's a compliment. Maybe like he like, thanks for like, but like, why would you just like automatically assume I couldn't do it? Like, because I'm a girl? Like, I don't get it. Like, it just really makes me mad, because like, oh, like there's just so many, even like men like my mom's age, or like family friends, like even like my uncles, like they've never like said things about me, obviously, because they're my family member. And that's what I was saying about my brother earlier. Like my brother's my best friend. It's because like he's my family member, like not gonna say shit to me. But like literally, like even some things that they've said about like different women, I'm like, oh, okay. Like, I don't know. I just don't understand the male brain. And I really, really, really do want a boyfriend, but it needs to be someone that like, oh, when I was going to say earlier about like the leadership roles thing, like how men or women shouldn't be in leadership roles and stuff. I need a relationship that's a partnership. Like, there's no leadership role. We're in this shit together. And literally, it's as simple as don't be a fucking douchebag and cringe and be like, I don't like men who are like, first of all, oh my God, men who think like crying and stuff is like feminine and stuff. It's like, no, the fuck it's not. I think if you're sitting there like, oh, I'm so broy, like, I can't deal with those type of men. You're the scum of the fucking earth. Like, go outside and touch some grass and like feel some emotions. Like, because those are the type of men, the same type of men who call women emotional and dramatic are the men who are the ones literally like punching themselves in the face when they got caught cheating. Like, oh, I'm so like, I'm going to kill myself. Or it's like the same men who call women emotional and dramatic are the ones who are literally like getting so fucking mad over a video game or over a sports game. They're literally like throwing their controllers at the TV, like screaming at the TV over sports. And I'm like, or when I was mentioned earlier, men wanting to fight at any small fucking inconvenience, like any one small fucking comment that a man says, they're like, oh, you want to fight about it? Like, and you have the audacity to call women dramatic, but you're fucking breaking your television over a video game or a sports game? You dumb lunatic. Like, how are you going to call women dramatic? I don't get it. But that was kind of my little spiel rant about my experiences growing up as a girl and dealing with all of men's bullshit. Like I said, there is way more stories from where these came from. And I have lots of friends who have stories that I will have on my podcast eventually as guests. I want to have my friends on, so maybe they'd be willing to share some stories as well. I'm not going to promise that, but I will make a part 2 down the line, hopefully when I have way more viewers and I'll be more disconnected from the people in this town and I can go a little more into detail. But like I said, I really don't hate all men. And I do know there are some good ones, and I have hope that I will find my good one. If you watch Trisha Paytas, I will find my Moses. I will find my Makoa, like Tana has Makoa. I will find a good guy. I really will. But in my experience, in my 20 years of life so far, my experiences with men have not been great. But my advice for this episode, I have 2 pieces of advice. Number 1, my advice for the men. Men, y'all need to do better and educate other men because, like I said, I know there's good men out there. The ones who are good, the ones like if you hear your friend saying some goofy shit, be like, bro, what are you saying? Like, so many men make comments about women's bodies constantly, make comments about like just the way they treat women, the way they act around women, the way like just men, keep your friends in check, keep your fellow men around you in check. And women, my advice for y'all is to raise your standards. Like, because like you do not need to put up with the bare minimum. So many women I know, I feel like, are in like relationships where it is not all that for real. Like they're not in good relationships, if I'm being honest. Like a lot of the people I know that are in relationships, like y'all are actually putting up with the bare fucking minimum, but they like think that's what they deserve. Like they think that like it's good. It's like, oh, he did this for me. I'm like, he literally should do that for you. Like that's like what. So, and for those of you who are single, like myself, raise your standards when you're looking for people. Like don't just settle for something because you just want a boyfriend, because that's for sure as hell what I'm not doing. I'd rather be single for the rest of my life than be with a fucking dirtbag ass man. So women, I would say raise your standards and stop putting up with the bare minimum. You know what you deserve, and you can all get what you deserve. Yeah, I feel bad for slandering. No, I don't. I really don't feel bad. But yeah, men kind of suck, moral of the story. But I'm hoping to find a good one soon. And I'm sorry to all of you guys watching if any of you have had terrible experiences like I have with men. And just know if you've been sexually assaulted or anything like that, that it is not your fault. There's nothing you could have done to prevent it. There is nothing, like, men are just fucking gross. Like I said earlier, women will never hate men the way that men hate women. And that's just the way it is. But I honestly think that our generation is getting better at that. I think we're realizing that this shit needs to change. And I think like our generation, when we become parents, is going to raise our kids to be so like, our sons are going to know how to act and know how to treat women and just know how to be good people. So I'm really hopeful for our generation to raise sons because I think they're going to be really helpful. And I feel like a lot of guys too are just getting better. And it might just be my town too, honestly, because I see like a lot of good, like I see a lot of guys on TikTok with like valid takes. I'm like, okay, yes, they get it. So it might just be the town that I live in too. But I know it's not just my town because there's countless women all over the world that have terrible experiences with men. So yeah, my advice is men, do better and educate your peers, educate other men, and women, raise your standards and keep doing you, keep being the baddie boss bitch that you are. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode. It means the world. This topic is something I could talk about forever and ever and ever. Next week's episode is going to be super exciting, so stay tuned. I also will have a other kind of video that's not a podcast coming out very soon that I think you guys will love. Please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Please. That would mean the absolute world to me. Comment down below any video suggestions or podcast topic suggestions. You can follow all my socials in the description. And yeah, thank you so much for watching and tuning in. I will see you guys on the next episode of the Banter with Brooke podcast. Love ya. Bye.